So the overview today is really just, I'm going to talk with you about what are the health and environmental issues associated with green cleaners, particularly for custodial workers. How can you find products with verified claims? How can you performance test those products? So green is good, but you want to make sure that the products actually work in your facilities and for your specific applications. How do you find green cleaners from local vendors? And how do you specify those products? And again, how can they save you money? I showed you our Green Cleaners Guide, and here's some of the information that it goes into in terms of policies and standards and specifications just on cleaning products. So let's go into what makes a cleaning product green. So let me give you the broad kind of overview of what we're going to cover in this presentation. So all of those things when it comes to the cleaning products themselves, as well as the dilution equipment, and I'll show you some that I actually brought with us. Asthma-safe disinfectants. Disinfectants at this point are not certified as green, but there's a lot of work that we're doing with San Francisco and some other jurisdictions to identify what are the different chemical ingredients in disinfectants that can make them safe or not safe. So bleach compared to peroxide, for example. Microfiber mops, and I brought an example of one. After the session, you're welcome to come up and look at any of these materials, which also are considered part of a green cleaning program. Certified green janitorial products. So I'm thinking about, like, what would you order on this whole contract of janitorial products? So you have the paper products, paper towels, toilet paper, seat covers, any of those things which can have recycled content, can be unbleached, so they're gentler on the environment. There's lots of different criteria that you can look at for those. Hand dryers, which can eliminate paper towels altogether. It's going to be an energy issue, and so you want to make sure that they are high efficiency. Recycled content and compostable trash bags. And we talked last time about the certification for compostability to make sure it actually does break down in a composting site. And other high efficiency cleaning equipment to make sure you're getting the dust and other things out of the facility. So green cleaning is important. Okay, here's my list. The workers, front line of defense, the workers, really important to protect them, and there's lots of studies showing that, that there's high levels of sickness, particularly asthma and chemical burns among custodial workers. Children, you want to protect them to make sure that they are not getting exposed to toxic chemicals. They're closer to the floor. Their immune systems are not well developed, so they can't protect themselves as well. So schools, childcare centers, etc., are important to be focusing there. Fish. This is actually a picture of one of the fish that I saw when I went scuba diving. And fish are really at the end of the tailpipe. They don't really have a choice on what it is that is getting put into their environment, but there are lots of chemicals that are impacting fish, their ability to reproduce, their ability to school. Some of the fragrances and chemicals can coat the fish and cause all kinds of health and environmental impacts with them. And then opportunities to save money. There are a number of times where I've gone into a facility and found high levels of aerosol products. Not only are they dangerous, flammable, and they have chemicals in them that can be a problem for your respiratory system, but they're also quite expensive. And so there are opportunities within green cleaning to switch to greener cleaning chemicals and save money. And I'll give you some examples. What do we want to avoid? So the first thing that you want to start with is maybe doing an inventory of what it is that you're using right now. And there are some things that you specifically can look for that would be easily identifiable as problems. So the first thing is Prop 65 chemicals. You may have seen the warning. I think almost everyone's seen the sign. This chemical is known by the state of California to cause cancer, birth defects, or other types of reproductive harm. Any product sold in California, it's called PROP because it was a proposition. The voters of California voted to make sure that if there were chemicals that were in products that are known to cause cancer or other types of reproductive harm, that they were going to get warned about it. And so there's a whole system set up to make sure that companies that put these chemicals in our products are notifying, and you'll see them on some of the products. Some products, if they're particularly hazardous, will say danger, corrosive, flammable. There's different types of things that if those products have that warning on it, they have to put, they're required by law to put a danger warning. One of them is bleach. Danger, corrosive, may cause severe irritation or damage to the eyes and skin, harmful if swallowed. Protect eyes when handling. So it's important to look at the labels, although the labels may not tell you everything. What else can give you information about what's in a cleaning product other than the label itself? Material safety data sheet. That's a data sheet that if your facilities are using and buying chemicals, the vendors are supposed to be giving you a material safety data sheet that tells you what the environmental and health hazards are, what types of personal protective equipment are needed, etc. Whoops, sorry, let me go back. Anything in an aerosol can be a problem. Any uncertified cleaning products are suspect, so if they don't have a green certification that you are feeling comfortable with, that we talked about last time and we'll go over again today, Green Seal, Eco Logo, Design for the Environment, any of those, you want to make sure that those products are, well, if they don't have the certification on them, then they're not certified, and those would be the ones that you want to try to avoid. Antibacterial hand soap, which builds up into the environment. Conventional mops, and we'll talk about microfiber mops versus conventional, non-recycled paper products, and any battery-operated equipment. All of those things are things that when you're looking at your green cleaning contract, you can address. So what are the health hazards associated with cleaning products? There are chemicals that are added to cleaning products that are known to cause cancer, reproductive harm, endocrine system, which means it impacts the hormonal system of the body, damage to the immune system so that it's harder for you to fight infections, damage to the nervous system, anything that says on it, oh, this thing might give you a headache and make you dizzy. Some of them even say, you know, if you breathe a lot of these chemicals, you may cause you to become unconscious or go into a coma. Some of them will even say that they can cause death. So you really want to avoid chemicals that have, or products that have those chemicals in them. Poisoning of the organs. So it's important to wear personal protective equipment, even with green cleaning products, because they typically contain solvents that can soak into the body through the skin, and they can get into your organs and poison them. Probably the most common impact of custodial workers is chemical burns. And a large number of custodial workers are exposed to chemicals and get chemical burns either to the skin or to the eyes or to the respiratory system. And then asthma. Some chemicals in cleaning products are known to cause asthma, either to make either you had the same thought I did. So some chemicals that are added to cleaning products are known to cause asthma. Some will trigger an asthma attack among people who already have asthma. Other chemicals are called respiratory sensitizers. They are known to be able to cause a new case of asthma among somebody who does not already have it. And there's a high level of occupational respiratory sensitization among custodial workers. We also have high levels of asthma among children, school kids, and so it's important for us to look at the chemicals that can cause asthma. We did a lot of work a couple of years ago with Green Seal to make sure that they addressed the issue of asthma-causing chemicals in green cleaners. And now anything that's certified by Green Seal or Eco Logo is ensured to be devoid of chemicals known to cause asthma. This is from the Environmental Working Group. Actually, also, we had mentioned them over here because they're putting together a database of cleaning chemicals, so you can look at which ones are safe and not safe. And they did some studies, and one of the studies that they did looked at cleaning products that are used typically in schools. And what they found was they tested them and found that conventional cleaning products typically contain about 38 different chemicals in them, while the certified green cleaning products that they tested only had an average of 8 chemicals. So there's more chemicals in the conventional cleaning products. Many of those chemicals can cause the health problems that we discussed earlier. They also found that the green cleaning products release 1/6 of the air pollution compared to conventional cleaners. So many of the products will off-gas these chemicals that are known to cause asthma and other health effects. As we mentioned in the last training, it's important, and this is your first line of defense, to require any environmental claims associated with the product to be verified. So if a company says this product is eco-friendly or natural or non-toxic, you want to make sure that they provide certification either by an independent lab or by a third-party certification organization of that environmental or health claim. So I give one example. This is a product that you might be familiar with. Simple Green. It says non-toxic, which actually, according to the Federal Trade Commission, is a false claim. What is non-toxic? Salt is toxic. Anything can be toxic at a certain level. Also, it happens to contain a chemical that is on the toxics release inventory list, 2-butoxyethanol. It's biodegradable, although it's not certified to be biodegradable. And it says no known hazards if used as directed by the manufacturer. Well, when you look on here, it's interesting. It says, so for general use, heavy cleaning, use a 1:10 dilution ratio. For light cleaning, 1:30. What that means is you're supposed to add 30 parts water to this, to the chemical. Now, it comes in a spray bottle. How many people just spray this directly? So the health effects that it is talking about are associated when you mix this with 10 to 30 parts water, and not necessarily using it full strength. Now, Green Seal actually, in its standard, because of products like this, decided that they would not allow any of their products, which are all concentrates, to be packaged in a spray bottle because of the potential for misuse. Also, interestingly, there is a line of Simple Green's Naturals, which does not have the 2-butoxyethanol, and a certified line of Simple Green. But the one that you get in the store still has the toxic chemical and still is a concentrated product in a spray bottle that has the potential for misuse. These are the claims that we talked about last time that are examples of claims that the Federal Trade Commission says are false claims unless they can be specifically verified. And so things like practically non-toxic, earth-friendly, eco-safe, natural, any of that is just a false claim without there being any verification. So your best line of defense, look for products that have a multi-attribute certification. And what that means is they don't just look at, is the product biodegradable, or is the product not toxic to fish, or does it lack this one chemical, but they look at the product as a whole and look at all of the environmental and health impacts associated with the product. So Green Seal, it's an independent third-party organization that's non-affiliated with any of the companies associated with it, that establishes a certification process based on an environmental standard that is open and transparent and that we can participate in to make sure that it actually is developed in a way that comes up with standards that are safe. EcoLogo is another organization. They're based in Canada, but they have many products that are certified in the United States, including green cleaners. Green Seal has lots of different products that are certified that are janitorial products, both the cleaning products, the hand soaps, and also paper towels. Within the area, you can see on the right the types of certified green cleaners. There's a wide range of different types of cleaners, everything from multi-purpose, bathroom, glass cleaners, carpet degreasers, tub and tile, all these different types of products. Now they're starting to get into some of these other areas that are at the bottom. Household cleaners, disinfectants. They have also floor polish and strippers and some specialty cleaners. The important thing to know if you are looking for Green Seal certified products, it should have that Green Seal on the product. Okay, so look for it. If it doesn't have the Green Seal, then it's not certified. And as a double check, you can look on the Green Seal website, the greenseal.org website, and it lists all the products that are certified. So you want to have a double check. And it's important to note to really check that and get that information from the vendors or to look for that on the products that you're ordering, because some of the products do sound kind of the same, but they may have a Green Seal and a non-Green Seal version of the product, so just you want to be aware of that. Like I said, it should be multi-attribute, and just to give you an example, a sense, these are all the different types of criteria that are included in the standard. So they really do soup to nuts assessment of the products, and the Green Seal will not go on the product until they actually have evaluated all the lab test data that's provided to them, and they often will do a site assessment as well to make sure that they're doing what they say they do. So they really do a great job, and we want to be rewarding the companies that have gone through the process of pulling together all this data, reformulating their products, and getting them certified. And so it's important that we purchase products that have that certification. There is another program that's out of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. It's called the Design for the Environment Recognition Program. And this program started as a technical support type of function within the federal government. Company came and said, I really want to green up my cleaning product. And they would help them to do that. And over the years, they've sort of put together something that's similar to a standard of how they do that, but they apply their standards a little bit differently. So what I tell people is, if you're looking for, say, a specialty product that, and you can't find one that's Green Seal certified or Ecologo certified, look to see if there's a Design for the Environment logo. They do have some more product categories than Green Seal. They do look at all the individual chemicals, but they don't look at all the health effects. They don't look at packaging, for example, or some of these other types of things. The cons, they're a little bit less transparent, participatory. Their standards are just starting to be put together in a cohesive way. Some of their criteria are less vague than Green Seal, and the information, this is probably the most important, the information is submitted by manufacturers. It's not verified. They don't always go out. They're starting to do that because we've put pressure on them to go out and check on the factory, but they're just starting to do that process. Oh, let me just show you before we go into this. I did bring one product, and you can come up afterwards and see. This is one that I have that I use at home. Good for Wood Wood Surface Cleaner by Method. It's actually a San Francisco-based company, and you can see it has the Design for the Environment logo on the package. There are some single attribute certifications for cleaners, but you really rarely need to use those because there's so many products that are certified with multi-attribute certifications. But here's some biodegradable. So you can get one claim, but really, you know, unless you can't find anything else, I would say it's not that useful to go through with that. Some of the products, some of the ingredients may be bio-based, which is good. It has plant-based material, or some of the ingredients may even be organic. They may be certain types of herbs that are grown organically, but really it's important to look at and rely on those multi-attribute certifications instead. So when you're going out to bid, if you are going to be in a bidding situation for your department or for your jurisdiction, specify Green Seal or Ecologo certified products. I think it's really important to have metered dilution. There's a lot of facilities I've gone in where they use the glug-glug method. Some call it the coffee cup method. You go in, you pour this much. Usually when you're doing that, there are two things that are happening. You're getting more chemicals into the bucket than are necessary, and you're exposing workers to the concentrated cleaning chemicals. And so it's important to go to a metered dilution system. If you're a small facility, you may want to try something that is, this is what the school district in San Francisco uses, and they're using some of this in San Francisco. It goes with this tube. So you hook the tube up to the water supply, boom, and then you can dilute it to different concentrations to make it either a disinfectant or a cleaning chemical that is non-disinfectant strength. And they have, you just toggle it this way and you can look at it. They're actually starting to put even the dilution numbers on the more recent versions of this at our request. And there we go again. So here, some of the dilution systems can be quite complex. And so you want to, when you're pilot testing these products, figure out what's going to work best for you, what's going to fit into your janitorial closet, what the workers find useful and reliable. You want a performance test if possible, and I'm going to show you some performance testing information that we did. Require the vendor to do training. And if you get a Green Seal certified product, it's actually required that the vendor provide training and that they service your equipment properly. Give preference for a local distributor and require janitorial services to use certified products as well. So you may not be buying your own chemicals, you may just hire a cleaning service. If you do, you can put some of these same requirements on them. So again, you want to protect workers, reduce your hazardous waste disposal costs, reduce the need for training to deal with hazardous materials, improve indoor air quality, and you can also earn green building and business credits, and I know Chris is going to talk about that, and I have a more limited slide on that as well. There's lots of case studies of jurisdictions that have used green cleaners and with positive impacts. So here's one in Minneapolis. They conducted a 3-year green cleaning pilot test. They moved to the metered dilution system away from hand mixing. That was the major way that they saved money. And they also found fewer sick days for their custodial staff, reduced waste, and improved indoor air quality. Nearby in the Hennepin County, which is also Minneapolis area, Minnesota Medical Center, they learned from the city and they switched to green cleaners, non-corrosive peroxide-based disinfectants, which is what that is as well, and microfiber mops. And they found that they had a 7% reduction in the cost of cleaners, a 17% reduction in the volume of cleaners, and an 80% reduction in chemical injuries that were documented in their facility. And that's a picture of the microfiber mop. Another example, there's some examples that have come out of the schools of different ways in which green cleaners save money. So here's one school that replaced 20 different products that they were using before with one product, one Green Seal certified product, and it saved them about $280,000 a year. You can reduce the amount of chemicals used by the dilution equipment. Here's another school district saved $360,000 a year by doing that. And then also negotiating contracts so that you're locking in good prices on those. Closer to home here in Novato, Unified up in Marin County, they were able to talk to their vendor and see if they could switch to the green cleaners, and they did so with no additional costs. And their vendor was Waxy. They offered discounts through what's called the WSCA, which is the Western States Contracting Alliance. It's a multi-state janitorial cleaning contract that has many lines of green cleaners on it. So another example, Harvard, same thing. They decreased their cleaning costs due to a consolidation of the types of chemicals that they use, going from 25 different kinds of non-green chemicals to 7 kinds of green cleaning products. You can get green cleaning credits. I'm going to leave this to Chris to go into more detail. I gave the main two, the cleaning policy, green cleaning policy, which is required, and also if you purchase green cleaning products, you can get credits, but there's some additional credits as well. I wanted to just point this out because the last one, you'll see actually that this is the logo for the U.S. Green Building Council and LEED. Some people just join the organization and they're a LEED member, and then they say, we're a LEED member, we're a member of the U.S. Green Building Council. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. So you want to avoid what I call green by association. And there are some environmental groups that just will put their stamp of approval on. We really need to make sure that we're looking at the products and that the products are certified. This particular product happens to be designed for the environment recognized. So we did some pilot tests in the neighboring county of Santa Clara, and we pilot tested all these different things: Green Seal and Eco-Logo certified cleaners, hand soaps, which also can have a Green Seal or an Eco-Logo on them, and paper towels, microfiber mops, disinfectants, trash bags, and then some specialty cleaning products, including some of the graffiti removers as well. What we did is we assembled the people within the jurisdiction, within the county, who are the main people that were dealing, they were the custodial supervisors for the different departments, held a kickoff meeting. We conducted a baseline assessment. We looked at different facilities and followed the custodial workers around to see what they were doing, figured out what they were using, identified the product categories to green that they wanted, and then we developed specifications for each of those product categories. We researched the green cleaning products available from local vendors, so we got a list of, and said, and asked the different vendors in the region. We surveyed them. What green cleaners do you have? We also worked primarily with the different vendors that the county was already using, because they felt comfortable and many times with their existing vendors, but then we looked outside that. And we had them come in and do a dog and pony show to show us the green cleaning products that they had available through their contracts. And they actually brought examples of these types of products with them to show the different people on the green team. Then we had a touch and feel test, so we looked at the green cleaning products, looked at the different equipment, and the custodial people would say, well, I kind of used a piece of equipment like that before and it leaked. I don't like that design. Or they took the toilet paper and the paper towels and they felt them with the paper towels. We put it in water and made our hands wet and just to look to see if the paper towel was going to hold together and really be absorbent, those types of things. Then the vendors presented the selected products, and the green purchasing EPP, environmentally preferable purchasing team, chose the products to actually be included in the pilot test. We did 5 months of pilot testing, so each line of green cleaners was put into the facility for a month, and they used them once, and they were trained by the vendor. And once they got going, we came in with our clipboards and asked them a whole lot of questions. How do you like the product? Do you have to scrub harder? Do you like the smell of the product? Is it working for you? Or is this, one that isn't working for you? And there was vendor installation training, custodial staff interviews, and passive surveying of restrooms. So we had restrooms in there where we had the different types of hand soap, and we would ask people who were just washing their hands. We didn't stand in the bathroom. We would put up the surveys and ask people to respond to the surveys about the toilet paper, the paper towels, and the hand soap. And then we analyzed the survey results and gave ratings of 1 to 5 to different products, checked with other end users that didn't get to the table at the beginning just to make sure that we had their needs addressed. We looked at whether any of these products were available that they really liked, that passed the test on cooperative purchasing agreements to figure out whether there'd be good pricing available there. Developed a bid solicitation, and it was awarded last year. Now the vendors are doing additional training to expand the use of those products countywide. This is just some of the detail about how much. We had 3 different locations that were tested. 11 custodial staff were participated in actually testing the products, so not every single custodial person was involved. Over 70 products were tested, and over 200 end-user surveys were completed. So this is just one example of the results where we looked at each of the different lines of cleaning products, and we pointed out some of the things that people said about the products. Either they liked it, or they didn't like the dilution system, or they didn't like the smell. And then we evaluated and chose among the ones and let the bidding happen among the ones that were got the highest results. So I'm going to just talk real briefly about disinfectants. And I know we got started late. We are running late, so I will just keep moving along here. Disinfection is something that a lot of different jurisdictions need to do, and it's one that we're just starting to look at with respect to how do you do it in a safer manner and still meet the legal and other requirements that you might have. It's important to know that all disinfectants are EPA-registered pesticides. So they have to be registered, and they have to be listed on the containers. You can see some of the ones that I have there will list the type and the concentration of active ingredient, and those need to be approved by the California Department of Pesticide Regulation. Disinfectants should be used only when they're needed and at the level that they're needed. I found that there's a lot of confusion about, do I need to sanitize this? Do I need to disinfect that? What is the difference, and what level? What organisms do I need to be killing? So there's a lot of confusion out there about that. They should be applied on a clean surface, although some of the pesticidal disinfecting products will be registered as a cleaner disinfectant, but you need to be very careful to make sure it's cleaned sufficiently, otherwise it doesn't work, particularly with things like bleach. That they're properly diluted and that they're left long enough to work. See a lot of spray and wipe, which actually is not consistent. If you're not leaving it on for the proper dwell time, which can range from 1 minute to 10 minutes, the product doesn't work. And so you might be thinking that you're disinfecting, but you're not. Safer disinfectants are available. So here's the conventional ones. Chlorine bleach, as I mentioned, it's corrosive to the eyes and skin. It also can release chlorine gas, which can cause asthma. Quaternary ammonium chlorides are called quats. You'll also see them. They have a really long name associated with them. They also are asthmagens. They're concentrating in sewage sludge, and they are corrosive. They need to be washed, rinsed off. Pine oil is a potential respiratory and skin sensitizer. And orthophenol, which is usually used more in a hospital environment, but it is a carcinogen and an asthmagen on both of those lists. This is an interesting fun fact I found on the Clorox website, that the pine oil that is put into Pine Sol, it's not like the pine oil that they just tap like maple syrup from a pine tree. Actually is derived as a byproduct from the pulp and paper manufacturing industry. So there's a lot of chemical ingredients that go into products that are byproducts of other chemical processes or manufacturing processes. So this one is from the craft pulp paper industry, is where they extract the pine oil from after the paper's been manufactured. There are some safer disinfectant ingredients. They're starting now, Ecologo and Green Seal is starting to certify disinfectants, and there's been a lot of work to identify safer active ingredients. The ones really to look for are hydrogen peroxide, similar to having hydrogen peroxide, when you go to the hospital for a cut, it kills germs. And there is regular hydrogen peroxide. There's also what's called accelerated hydrogen peroxide, which is stabilized. Some of those products are among the strongest products out there. There's one that we've been pilot testing successfully in childcare centers in San Francisco that's called Oxivir TB. It kills everything, including tuberculosis, which is very difficult to kill in 1 minute. But it's a concentrated product. There are also products that are dilutable as well, which are going to be more cost effective for things like floors and big surfaces. There's some active ingredients, citric acid, lactic acid, that are safer. They are broad spectrum disinfectants in some cases. There's no asthmagens, no respiratory sensitizers. They do break down in sewage, but they are acidic, but they're not corrosive. So there may be irritating to the skin, but they're not going to burn the skin. This is a product. I'm going to leave this to you. Did you bring your, Chris, did you bring your example? Okay, Chris has one of these. This is one of the buzzes in the green cleaning world, is a product called the Ionator, where you put water in it and it activates it, and it can get to a level of killing bacteria. And as they get stronger with their technology, they're looking at whether it can kill other types of pathogens as well. In one of the pilot tests I did actually in Hawaii, we switched them from a conventional NABC non-acid bowl cleaner, which has these asthmagens in them, and they were just buying these 55-gallon drum. In fact, when I went in, the blue stuff was kind of oozing out all over. And the good news is when we got them to a concentrate, this is actually, you can see the little bottle similar to the one that I have there, because we got them from a ready-to-use product down to a concentrated product. We went from about $7 to $12 per gallon use down to less than $1 per gallon. So we're able to save them substantial amounts of money. Microfiber mops, I brought an example of them. We talked a little bit about them at the last session. They replace the conventional mops, and they are cost effective on a life cycle basis because they reduce chemical use, they reduce water. They were developed for a hospital environment, so you just use them. They're easier on the back. When you're done, you don't put a dirty mop back in the bucket. You just peel it off, put it into a washing machine, and it is much more effective at getting dirt and also germs off of the environment. So they're very popular among workers because they're easier to use, easier on the back, and they don't have to lift those heavy mop buckets. Hand soaps. Green Seal certified hand soap. There's also Ecologo certified hand soap. It's less expensive than antibacterial soap, and it is as effective. The American Medical Association says you don't need to use antibacterial hand soap. It doesn't do anything more in terms of getting germs off. Foaming hand soap reduces soap and water usage up to 40%, and so that can be cost effective. And one thing that you can think about is using push operated instead of the thing that you put your hand under, because those can chew through quite a few batteries, and that's another additional expense over the life of the product. Janitorial paper. There's different certifications. You can see them on the left. EPA just means it meets EPA's minimum recycled content guidelines. Forest Stewardship Council, FSC, means that whatever virgin paper was in there was sustainably managed. Ecologo and Green Seal. So you want to look for those Ecologo or Green Seal certified products, look for unbleached products, and again, look for products that don't have battery use. Rolls are more efficient than folded towels, and consider hand dryers. So you can calculate your savings of hand dryers, which is typically quite substantial compared to paper towels. Green cleaners are widely available from lots of different vendors that you might be familiar with in the region. There are examples of green cleaning products that you might, contracts you might be able to piggyback off of from local jurisdictions. Here's one from Alameda County. And there's lots of different resources available for green cleaning. We gave you one of those, which is a green cleaning CD. That's pretty comprehensive, that was developed for the school environment. And that's my contact information if you need it.